Hey guys, Tarek with Cyclone FPV. It is Sunday, July 26th, and it is crappy weather outside here in Texas, and that's got me sitting inside here going through all these things that we need to do. So I just got done doing a video on how to set up the Eachine Novice 3 and how to bind to it, but now I've got to get it set for the customer that actually ordered it. He didn't order this from us, but he did order this X-Lite S from us, okay? And so the concern was how to get this to work with this. This runs a Maytech F411 RX flight controller with built-in FrSky receiver that's supposed to handle D8, D16 ACCST protocol. This comes with, I believe, the new access. Let me see, it should be on here. Yeah. So this comes with the new access protocol. And so we're going to do some OpenTX setups on this one. So you're going to get the whole step, right? From setting this radio up, how to bind it, how to upload it, how to do everything, update it, and so forth, and then how to set it to where it binds with this without having to use any additional hardware like an XJT module to do a D8 mode. Okay, pretty difficult as far as how many comments I've seen about binding to these and the Tiny Hawks, things like that. So we're going to knock it all out today. Okay, real excited about this. So here we go. So let's do a split screen real quick, and we'll do it like this, and let's get going. First thing we're going to do is let's just go ahead and open it up. I don't think I've opened one of these yet. I can't remember if I opened the new S version or not, but you know what? Why not? Let's knock it out and see what we've got, okay? So obviously this is going to be a longer video, so if you're just looking for the part about the how to bind it, I just put out a video on that as well, or you can fast forward. This thing's going to go pretty quickly, so once you see Betaflight come up, you should be set to slow down. All right, so let's go ahead and empty the contents out. First thing is they did give us the 18650 upgraded caps here, so we're going to set those aside. Okay, let me get my garbage can here. Trying to clean up so my wife quits telling me that I'm not doing my part. All right, here we go. Let's take it out of the box, get the wrapping off of it. Okay, there we are. Take the stick protectors off right here. Oh my Lord, there. Okay, and obviously those of you that have seen these before, you'll understand there's the instructions inside. I'm really not too worried about that right now. But you do understand that the throttle stick is just spring activated right now. It has not been disabled yet. And we're going to do that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to open the contents here of this bag. And I'm going to take this one screw that I need right here. Okay, and we're going to use this to disable. We're going to take our little screwdriver and we're going to use that to disable the spring. So what we're going to do is there's an empty hole right here. We're just going to put that right in there and we're going to keep screwing that in. All right. Let me make sure I get that in there. There we go. And just keep going. And what you're going to happen is you're going to see the spring, right? It's spring loaded. There it goes. Okay, and what we want to do is we want to disable this. And you'll see it. I'm only flicking this like this so that you guys can see when it kicks in. So just keep going. And there it goes. You see how it's done now. Okay. So now the throttle stick here will go up just like that. Okay, but now I need it to go just a little bit more. It's not all the way down yet, so let's just keep going. All right, so at that point it's disabled. Now what I want to do is I want to add tension so this thing quits flopping around like that. So I'm going to go to the second screw right over here, and I'm going to start tightening this up till I get to a tension that I'm comfortable with, right? So, and the customer can adjust this obviously, but I'm going to do it for my comfort right now. Okay, so let me see what that feels like. That's a little loose. I'll do just a little bit more. Perfect. That's okay. So probably just a little too tight there. So just a half turn. All right. There we go. All right. So now we set the sticks, right? So now it's time to actually set this up. Let's go ahead and we're going to remove the old caps because we're going to use 18650s on this. There we go. We set these here. Here's my 18650s, and I want to say that on the bottom of these caps is the ground. Is that right? And I know on these ones it says ground right there. I don't know if it's stamped on here anymore. I don't see it. No, but I do know that on here, on the originals, it is stamped the ground. So we're going to put these in with the ground towards the bottom. Those, no, those aren't the batteries I wanted to use. Sorry. I have another set in my pocket that I wanted to use that were charged. Here they are. Okay. So let's put these in. And I don't want to do that again. That was a pain in the butt. I don't remember it being that tough to put these on, but god darn it, that was a pain. Okay, so there's our radio, which I hope is going to be a lot easier the next time around. I don't remember having to wrestle with it, but whatever. I'm also not wanting to break it. Okay, so we've got our warnings, throttle switches and all that. That's fine. All right, so here we are, brand new, ready to go, right? And I need to get the glare out of there. So let me see if I can get that to where you can at least read it. I'm not sure. We'll zoom in a little bit, I guess. Well, that's not helping. That may be better. I don't know. But anyways, so there's our model right there. Okay, but now what we need to do is we need to go ahead and update this. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to switch on over, and I've got my computer set up here. You're going to need to download OpenTX. And so I've already done that here, and I've got copies of it listed. But what you want to do to go to download OpenTX, well, there's my notes on the Eachine. Okay, so you're going to go basically to OpenTX.org. So let me show you where it goes. And I've got videos on this one if you haven't done this before. There you go, open-tx.org. And you're going to go to your firmware right here. See 2.3.9, that's the newest version. So you click that. And then you can go to your SD card contents. You can download the installer. That's what I've done already. And now I won't download the installer again because it's pretty simple. Once you download it, just install it like normal. And it'll run, and it'll give you this file right here, OpenTX. So really all you want is this right here. We're going to do the SD card contents in just a little bit, okay? Now, before we continue, all right, one of the things that I do want to show you is that we're going to use, and you've seen this in my video before, we're going to use a 64 gig card. So to do that, we're going to go into Windows, and we're going to adjust the size of this so that it can be read in the radio, right? So we're going to adjust it to just 16 gigs. So I've found these on sale, and I've got them on my website. So sometimes you end up finding a card on sale that is probably not the right size, but it's cheap, so you can go ahead and buy it. So that's what we're going to do. So let me just go ahead and put this in over here. I'm going to open this up. I'm going to show you how to do this in Windows. I've done it before on my videos. I'm just having a hard time opening everything right now. It has been a real pain today. So I'll tell you what, I don't feel like messing with it. We'll just cut this thing open and call it a day. All right, there's my memory stick. I'm going to put it in Windows. Like I said, I'm going to use this USB to SD card reader right here. I'm going to plug that in my computer. Okay. Now again, this is, whoops, my bad. Again, this is if you are, here's my old coffee, thank goodness we finished it. So this is, if you're running Windows, this is what you're going to do. It's going to open your new page here. Just right click on the start button, then go to run and type control. That's going to open the control panel. Then you can go to administrative tools, and then you will go to computer management. And then from here, you're going to go to disk management, click it once, and you're going to find your SD card that we just put in, right? So here's the SD card, it's the removable one. Right click here and click delete volume, click yes. Then right click again on the unallocated and click new simple volume. The wizard will come up, click next, and just put in 16, and then just put in 16,000. That's all you need, it really doesn't matter. Click next. You can assign it a drive letter D, that's fine, click next. And then you want to format this with FAT32, and you can just leave it as new volume. So look, format, FAT32, allocation size default, volume label, new volume, and then do a quick format, click next, click finish. Okay, trust me, this is going to work. It's the easiest way to do it, all right? So follow that for the memory card preparation if the memory card is about 64 gigs or larger, okay? So what we've done now is we've partitioned, as you can see. We've got about 16 gigs, and we're not going to use this because the radio wouldn't have read it. Now, I don't know if it's the 32 limit or 16 limit on there. All I know is I always take mine down to 16 because I'm never going to use that much anyway. All right, once you're done with that, you can close it, but leave your memory stick in there. This is going to help you quite a bit. All right, you can close all your screens, and by now you should have downloaded the OpenTX Companion, this one right here for Windows, and when you run it, you're going to end up with this screen right here. I'm going to show you right now. It's going to open. Okay, give it a second. All right, now we're at our main screen here, and what we want to do here is we are going to go to settings, and we are going to go to radio profiles, and I don't know if I have an X-Lite S. I don't think so, and even if I did, I was going to make a new one anyway, so we're going to make a new one. We're going to do new radio, okay, and we're going to wait a second here. Well, I think I did it. Settings. Oh, no, sorry. I need to delete that one. So we need to make a new radio. I actually had a model called it. So settings, and then go to radio profiles, and then do add radio profile. And here you're going to type, I'm going to type mine as customer, X-Lite S, okay? And that's because the way I set it up for you guys will be different than what I do on my own. So X-Lite S, and then you're gonna scroll down to your radio type and just find it, X-Lite, where is it? X-Lite S and Pro right here, okay? So don't get lost in all of these, just scroll down till you get to X-Lite S and Pro, which I just had and then lost it, X-Lite S and Pro right here. Okay, so make sure that's what you have. And then as far as this goes, we're gonna select the following options. We're gonna do no heli, Lewis scripts, and I think I'm just going to leave it at that. I don't think I really need anything else right now. We're not adding any long range to this. All right, here's the next important part. You've got to make a folder to put your files in, okay, to stay organized. It is critical to stay organized. If you don't want to stay organized, watching my videos is going to be a waste of your time, all right, because the critical thing here is to stay organized so all your firmware goes in the right spot. So we're going to click for your SD structure path, which you're going to download later. We're going to select a folder, right? So we have to make a folder for your X-Lite S. So here's what's going to happen. I have a folder on my desktop called transmitters, okay? And then I make customer folders and I make mine. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a new folder. Let me do new folder. And I'm going to call this customer X-Lite S, okay? That's my new folder. So for you, you'll make a folder like yours. Just call it transmitter, whatever. If you have more than one, do transmitters like I did, and then make a folder for each transmitter you have. Then open that folder by double-clicking, make another folder in here, and call it SD card. That's it, okay? And then that's going to be your folder in this folder option here. Once you click it, click select folder. You see that? Now you have, there it is right there, SD card. Now you also have to make a backup folder. So just click select folder. And then go back to your transmitters like I did in my desktop. Here's my desktop, here's my transmitters. And we're going to look for the new one, customer X-Lite S. And under here, I'm going to make a new folder. And I'm going to call it backup. Okay, and that's what I want to have selected. Okay, click select folder. Now I've got that, look at that. So let me turn my radio off. I don't need it on right now, by the way. Okay, so I've got my SD structure path, my backup folder. I want to enable automatic backups, okay? I'm going to go ahead and append the version number to the firmware file name, and I want the computer to offer to write it as soon as it's done being downloaded. So that's for this screen. Take a good look at this screen. That's what you need to do. Then go to application settings. That's a tab at the top here. All right, and you can look at all these things. What matters most is right here where you put your backup folder. This is not the same backup folders for your radio. This is a backup folder for all the radios, okay? So I have a folder here and under my transmitters, and it's just called backup. Now you have a backup folder for your radio in each radio folder, like we did here. Look, customer X-Lite S, we have that backup. But this is a general backup folder for all of them. So just make a folder called backup that's under your transmitter's main page if you want. If you want to put it somewhere else, you can. If you're only going to run one radio, you can back it up to the backup folder of that radio then, okay? But I have to run a whole bunch for my customers, so I have one backup folder right here. So there's that, okay? And remember, it varies because this is a main backup folder, and this backup folder is the actual specific for the radio, okay? Now, the other option is you want to make sure you have enable automatic backup before writing firmware. You want that selected, and then the rest of your screen, make sure it looks like this, okay? And now click OK. That's it. Your radio profile is now set up, all right? Now, we want to get your radio, and this is where I have to try to remember what I've done here, so hold on a second. I've got to, I think that was it. Yeah, okay. So we've got to get your radio. Let me turn this off real quick. All right. We've got the radio here, as you can see, right? So there's our radio right here, and we've got OpenTX right here, right? So what we want to do now is we're going to get ready to start downloading the necessary software, all right, to load on this radio, right? We need the newest software possible, okay? So here's what we're going to do. First thing we're going to do is we are going to click this download button that's right here, all right? Download. And it's going to give us the option. This is the name of the file, plus all the little extras that we did, like the Lewis scripts, the no heli, and English. So here it is right here, and we want to check for updates, and it's going to tell you 2.3.9, okay, has not been downloaded. Do you want to download it now? And we're going to click yes. Okay, and we're going to put this, you're going to go to, like I had on my desktop, you're going to go to your X-Lite S folder, customer X-Lite S, okay, And you're going to just make a new folder here and just call this folder OpenTX. All right, so OpenTX -FW. And I don't know why Alexa's talking to me. She just scared the crap out of me. Hold on a second. I gotta silence this. Oof. Alexa, you scared the crap out of me. All right, there. Now she can't hear me. Holy crap. Somebody, I know nobody's home, and I heard some talking. All right, so OpenTX FW. This is the folder you're going to put all your firmware in, okay? So keep track of this. This is how we stay organized. So you're going to select it here, all right? And you're going to, you can basically take this file, all right? And you can just shrink down the file name here. All right, there we go. All right, and I'm just going to take this off. So just make it small. OpenTX 2.3.9. That's all you need to know. And then put it in your folder. Click Save. All right, now it's going to download. It's going to ask me if I want to write to the radio. No, I don't even have my radio hooked in yet. It's still sitting right here, okay? So click No. Now we're going to, I think if we do a download firmware, we're going to have, this is the exact same thing that we just downloaded, but here we were checking for the updates. So what we're going to do, we've already downloaded the firmware, so there's no sense in doing it again. What we can do now is we can download the SD card contents, and we do need those, okay? So let's go ahead and click that. Here's your SD card contents, and as you can see right here, this is 2.9, 2.3, and this is V0029. This is the newest version of the SD card contents, and when you download, that's the one you're going to want to download. If you're running the newest version of OpenTX, and you've downloaded the newest firmware, then you need to download the newest contents of the card content. So click this link, and that's going to actually save to your downloads folder, all right? So give that a second to download. It says it's going to take about 30 seconds or so. And so what you should be looking at, if I go to the desktop and I go to my, I'm just going to keep the, transmitter page open, and I'm going to open the Customer X-Lite S. So here's your folder as we're building it right now, okay? So you have your OpenTX firmware, you have this SD card folder that we made, but we haven't put anything in yet. We're actually downloading that right now. You have your backup folder. Again, we haven't made anything for that yet, okay? But this is what your folder should look like, and you have one file sitting in here right now, and that's it, all right? As soon as we get done downloading all these files and doing all the updates, then we will add to the card and put it in the radio, okay? So just hang tight because we're about to get this SD card that's downloading. So let me just go show in folder. And in our downloads folder, we're waiting for this file to be done right here, okay? And we're gonna wait just a little bit, it's almost done. My poor coffee cup. Wow. My wife isn't here and everything's going crazy when she's gone. All right, so here we go. 0 seconds left, this should be ready to go. So what I want you to do now is, as soon as this is done, okay, let's close this, we can get rid of all that. Let's go back to our downloads folder right here. So here is our file right here. So we're gonna right click and we're gonna left click on cut, and we're gonna go back to our transmitter folder right here, OpenTX. Okay, I wanna paste that downloaded file in here. Okay, that's the SD card contents, right? And now I wanna extract it. So I'm gonna right click, I'm gonna left click on extract all, and I'm going to make sure it says show extracted files. That's fine. So click next. And you're going to see this run through about 2,000 files. Now again, as in all the other videos I've done with FrSky product, once we extract this stuff, the majority of this, let's see, this is 135 megs. I believe, oh my gosh, like, I think there's only 14 or 16 megs of actual files we need. The rest are language files for different languages other than English. So we're not going to mess with those right now. We're just going to use the English file, and you're going to see what we're going to do here in just a second, okay? Just got to wait a minute. All right, now I can close this, and you've got this link here, so make sure to find that. And I think that's about it. I'll make a new post. Now this entire content is going to go under this, because we're doing the Eachine Novice 3 binding. Here's the instructions on how to do this, because we had such a hard time. By the way, we have a big storm coming in, so let's hope we don't get screwed up on this. All right, let me find out where we're at on our folder here. We're at 78% complete, and we should be down right here. So it's almost done. Almost done. 85, 86, 87, 88. And I'm going to show you what to delete and how you're going to set this up. Okay, so hang tight. Okay, so there's our contents right there. We're going to go to sounds, and we're going to delete all the sounds except the EN folder. Now, if you need another sound other than the EN language, English language, then that's fine. You can keep them, but I'm going to delete all of these. So here we go, delete. Okay. Now that that's done, I'm going to go back and look at my SD card. Okay, so if I right-click and left-click here on properties, it's going to tell you it's 115 megs. It's extracted, it's about 130. But now look, when I got rid of all those and I go to properties, only 16.8 megs, okay? So here's what I want to do now. I want to take everything that's in this folder. I want to highlight all of it. I want to right-click on it and left-click on cut, okay? Then I'm going to go up to my X-Lite S folder and go to my SD card folder I made earlier, right-click and click paste. And basically I'm just taking all that stuff and putting it in the SD card folder that we created, okay? So now when I go back to my X-Lite S folder, I have backup, OpenTX, this, and then I have this one that's now empty. We deleted, we took all the files out, so we can delete that. But I would save your main download. In case something ever gets corrupted, you can always revert back to your extracted, to your compressed file and extract it again. So look at our SD card now, and we've got all the files here. So you did have an OpenTX firmware file, so I want you to now right-click on that folder, and I want you to left-click on cut. We're going to put this in the proper spot now. We're going to go to double-click on your SD card, double-click on firmware, right-click, and left-click on paste. You basically want to put all your firmware files in order, categorized, or at least labeled properly in this firmware folder, because that's where you're going to go when you want to load it on your radio, okay? So let's go back to our X-Lite now. Look what we've got. We've got our backup folder, our SD card, and then we've got the downloaded SD card contents, okay? Perfect. So far, we're right on track. Let's go back to OpenTX and click OK. Now, we want to go ahead and with our OpenTX, we need to get ready to connect our radio, right? So go ahead and click on one of your folders, any one of them, so you can open up. And you see your new volume D. This is the one that we did earlier that we formatted. Right-click on it and left-click on eject. Okay, it's safe to move it. All right. So now you're going to take your memory card. Let me show you this real quick. Okay. So here's your radio and here's your memory card. You're going to take your memory card, you're going to insert it in the radio. And I cannot remember if it's labeled up or, well, it looks like it's probably labeled down. So put it labeled down. Where's it labeled up? Gosh darn it, I'm going to mess this up every time I get it wrong. Hold on. Maybe it's labeled up. There we go. Okay, it is labeled up. So push it until it clicks. There it goes, and now it's going to stay in place, all right? So now we're ready to put our radio in the mode so that we can connect it to the computer, right? So here's what you're going to do. You've got your plus right here, and you've got your power button. Press them at the exact same time, and then let go. And it might take a couple times. There you go. All right, so let me show you what I did. It's a little different, I guess. Maybe it's not exactly at the same time. Let me go to exit. Let me turn this off. Let's try this again, okay? So turn it off. Apparently, I guess you press the plus first, then press power, then let go. Okay, so there you go. So you see where it says, you're in this screen now where it says, let me see, it says bootloader 2.3.0. Pay attention to that. I don't know if you can read that, but let me see. Let's see if I can get in there a little bit. You see it says bootloader 2.3.0, and I wish it would be easier to read. There you go. And then you have write firmware, restore EEPROM, and exit, okay? So leave everything like this, but remember that 2.3.0. It'll be helpful later. All right. So what you're going to do now is you're going to take your USB cable, and you're going to plug it into the bottom here, and your radio is going to recognize that you're now plugged in USB. Watch. Let me get that plugged in properly. Yeah, sorry. See how it says USB connected, right? So let me click that again. Maybe you can read that there. There you go, USB connected, okay? And now we're going to go back to OpenTX, and we're going to do this, and here we go. All right, so we have our OpenTX, and you're probably going to see some folders pop up here in just a second on the computer, because it's right now reading the memory card, and it's also reading the onboard RAM that is on the receiver. So there you go. First it opens this one, and it assigns it a drive letter of E, okay? And there's your volume D right there. That's the empty card that we have. This is volume E. Don't ever touch volume E. Volume D is the only one that we care about. Now, we want to take the files from our computer and we want to transfer them over to our radio, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to click this icon right here, okay? This icon right here is going to be synchronizing our folder that we created, our SD card folder, with the memory stick that's in our radio. So here we go. Click it. and it says, okay, make sure you're pointed in the right, make sure you've got the right folder. So here, again, here's your folder, SD card is the folder right there. And now it does not know your drive letter yet, so you're gonna push it the first time by pointing to it. So click that folder there and locate volume D, and then click select folder. And now look at your options here. I'm not going to mess with these, all right? I usually leave them just like this, and it's going to basically say compare all the files. You don't have any on your memory stick yet, but it's going to say compare all the files and only do the ones that are newer. Fine. Just go down here and click start and watch the screen as it should populate. Now it'll give you a show details, and it's going to tell you how many total, how many it created, how many skipped, and so forth. It's basically created and total are going to end up being the same amount, okay? Because none of the files are on the memory stick yet. So let's let that run just a minute. And then as soon as this is done, guys, as soon as this is done, what we're going to do is we're going to end up doing a firmware update on your radio so that you have all the newest software loaded so that you can run a ACCST D16 without a module, and you can bind to quads that run the Maytech F411RX board like this Eachine Novice 3. Okay, so hang tight a second. It takes just a little bit of time, but that's why I tell you guys, please leave everything organized, because you can always find, when you start scrolling through your radio to find the files, you want them in the exact same spot so they're easy to find. All right, so here goes, and it's going to, it'll pick up the pace here in just a second, all right? So I usually will switch screens, but I'm not going to right now. We're just going to leave this here so everybody can be on the same page. Matter of fact, I better get some. Oh, well, there we go. Never mind, it's finished. Okay, so as you can see, it created 288. It checked a total of 576, meaning 288 now on the radio and 288 on the hard drive. So together it's 576, but it only did 288. Now, if I was to tell it to start again, it would zoom through quickly. All it's going to do is check. There's no changes, so it takes that long. Okay. Now we're going to click close. All right. Now look at your icons here. All right. You've got a read firmware from the radio, write firmware to the radio. We want to write the new firmware we downloaded earlier to this radio. So let's go ahead and click this. And it's going to ask us, well, where's your firmware? We're going to click load, and we're going to make sure under transmitters, under X-Lite S, under SD card, under firmware, under OpenTX, there it is. Okay. Check your hardware compatibility and use firmware start. You can use another, you can change your icon, I guess, to startup screen when you want to later. But for right now, just leave everything like it is and click write to TX. All right. Excellent. So now we click close. Okay. And at this point, your firmware is written, but the only thing is your bootloader is not updated yet. Now you have to have both. The bootloader, which I showed you when we went to that screen, it said bootloader 2.3.0, and I'll zoom in here and show you this real quickly, okay? So again, it's this screen here, right? And if you remember correctly, we have bootloader 2.3.0 indicated right here, right? Okay, so that has not been updated yet. We have to do that in just a few minutes, and I'll show you exactly how to do that, so bear with me. Let's get back to the screen. Okay, so we can close our folder now, all right? Now, there's a model on the radio. If you want to use it, you can use the model that's on the radio. You can assign your switches or do whatever you want, all right? Or I'm going to show you how to set up a model on the radio without using the computer. And then we're just going to copy that model every time if you'd like, okay? So from this standpoint here, everything's done, okay? You can now exit. And what you're going to do to exit is you're going to find your USB, not Bluetooth, sorry, your USB icon at the bottom here. You have to safely remove the device. So just right-click on that and pick one of the volumes. Okay, that's fine. And then go back to it and pick the other volume, and you're done. All right, so now what we're going to do is we're going to focus straight on the radio only. So let's unplug the USB. Now, if you look at your screen here, it's going to say, let me zoom in again. All right, it's going to say you can write your firmware, restore EEPROM, or exit. What I want you to do is I want you to go to exit. So scroll down with your joystick here, press it in.
Welcome to OpenTX.
Now,
throttle warning.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine. Okay, what we want to do now is we want to update our bootloader, right? So what we're going to do, let me zoom out now, is we're going to go to, oh, I guess you can't read it then. So here, we'll leave it like that for now. So, and I have to remember how to do this here because this, I don't use this version that much. Okay, So let me see. I believe, yeah, that's it. So what you're going to do is you're going to take your joystick and you're going to hold it to the left. And there your menu comes up, your tools menu. Don't worry about that yet. Go one to the right, go down to firmware, press your joystick in the center, go down to OpenTX firmware, press it again, go down here and hold it, and it's going to say flash bootloader. Press it, and it's going to flash the bootloader. Now, when you're done, you can press this bottom button and just get out altogether and watch what happens when we turn it off. Okay? Okay, so I'm going to show you now. Now, if you look, our bootloader is now updated to 2.3.9, okay? And our firmware is updated to 2.3.9. So we're in good shape. Hit exit. Oops, sorry, exit.
Welcome to OpenTX.
Okay, don't worry about the throttle warning. Don't worry about the failsafe. Here's what we need to do next. Again, we're going to hold the joystick to the left, okay? And now we're going to go to the right again. And here we're going to start setting up our date. So let's go ahead and set it up. Today is, well, the year is 2020. The month is July. Whoa, where am I going? And the day is, what is it, 26. So let's go to 26. Okay, let's go to the time. The time is not, it's going to be 15:19. Okay, which is 3:19 Central Time right now. Battery range, I'm going to take it down to 6.5. 8.3 is fine. Okay, so we're going to have some other options here. I'm just going to look at the screen because I can't see this route. You can lower your beeps and all that good stuff. Great, great, great. Don't care about any of that right now. Let me just keep going. Okay. Yeah, great. Contrast we'd mess with normally, I guess, if it's on a, I'll give a battery low warning of 6.3, okay? And then the inactivity alarm, well, you guys will all get used to that driving you nuts. Let's see. I really only care about the one other thing right here. My Lord, can we get to, okay, time zone. I don't know where I'm, I think we're -5 or 6. I can't remember. I'll leave it at 5. I don't remember. Adjust your time zone accordingly, I guess. And when the customer gets this, he'll have to adjust his. God darn it, where are we at? Okay, TAER, that's fine. And we are, okay, you see where it says mode 1? That's not right. We want to go to mode 2. God darn it, there you go. So press that one. Mode 2 is what we're using, where our throttle's over here. Our channel order is fine, TAER, that's fine. And I think everything else is good. So let's exit out of that by hitting your exit button right here. Okay, and then we're going to go to the right some more. Now we want to do a calibration. This is very important, so you must do this next, okay? Hit the enter key, and let me just tell you, it's going to tell you to put everything in the center, so just put everything in the center, all right? You've got some dials here on the back, I believe. Yeah, right here. So get those in the center as best you can. Just kind of feel it out there, just like that, I guess. I have no idea if that's the center or not, but it's going to say, now, press enter to start. Okay, now it's going to tell you, set your sticks to midpoint, which I think we did. Now, look, here's what you're going to do. So just go very lightly. Don't push hard on this because when you're flying, you're not going to be cranking these sticks. So just do that and go all the way around. Okay, and do the same thing on the other side. And you can see it kind of mimicking right there. All right, so you just want to make sure you get all the way. All right, and then turn your dials at the top here. So let me do that, and you can see them going up and down. There you go. Okay, and then when you're done, press enter. There, now your sticks are calibrated. Okay?
Trim center.
Oops, let's hit exit now. And we should be ready. Now, one thing you always want to make sure of is that your sub trims are always in center. So if you, I was just doing that by accident. If you go, you see how this one's moved and it doesn't have 2 lines anymore? So I'm going to go back to the right.
Trim center.
Okay.
Trim center.
All right, so all the sub trim should have 2 lines to start. At least that means it's calibrated, okay? All right, so here's your model. Now, the next thing we want to do on this model is we want to see what the heck this is going to be called. So I'm going to rename this model, and I'm going to make this to where I usually, what I do is I make a model and I copy and paste it, okay? Because I know how I like my things set up, and so every model I have is gonna have the same, basically same switch assignments, okay? So in this case, what we're gonna do, I'm checking the switches out here. Okay, so what we're gonna do in this case is we're gonna make this switch here, right, the arm switch. It's a three-way switch. We're gonna make that the arm switch, and we're gonna make this switch, three-way switch, the mode switch, okay? So let's get going. Now let me try to remember how we do this. Okay, all right. So from here, take your stick and hold it to the right. All right, and there's your model right there. Go to the right one more time. And now let's name the model. In this case, I'm gonna name this one Novice, I guess. So go up and down on the letters here. So, and then if you wanna capitalize, just hold the enter. Oh, I thought that's what it was. How do you capitalize in this one? No. Oh, there you go. So you'll press this button. You'll press this button here and hold it 1 second, and then it'll go to caps. And then you move over and go up and down. So we're going to call this the Novice, and you can hold the thing down there if you want. Oh, go over. Oops. Keep pressing that key because on my other remote, that's what you do to go to the next letter. So that's my fault. Okay, Novice, and then we're going to put the number 3. So let's just hold this all the way down. There you go. All right, now press your enter key. There you go. Now, we can scroll faster going up instead of down to get to our binding. One thing we want to do is we want to make sure that on our external, it's set to off. Okay, because if you turn that on, you can select, if you click it, you can select all kinds of these. This is your crossfire, right? There's PPM, XJT, that's a spectrum. This is your crossfire, and so forth. Long range, R9M, R9M axis, blah, 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 blah. We're not using those, so just leave it at off. Keep going up and look for your internal. See where internal is right here? So if you go past and you get to global range, global function, you're too far. So internal, now press enter, press your joystick down and go to your right. And you want ACCST D16, and I think that's the only options you have is access and ACCST D16 or off. Once you get to 16, hit enter, and you're good to go, okay? So we're done with this page for now. We're gonna bind in just a little bit, all right? But first we wanna finish this part with the radio. So hit your exit key, which is gonna be this button right here, right? This one right here, press that. Now, go to take your stick to the right one more time. Flight modes, don't care about. Inputs. So we have throttle, okay, there we go. Now we need to do input 5. Input 5 is going to be our arming, which is going to be that three-way switch right here. Okay, so we're going to hit enter, and we're going to call it arming. So you can, oops, hold on, sorry. Wait, I thought, well, I was hoping to make that caps. Let me just go. I'm not very good at doing this controller with the capitals, I guess. I'm really surprised. No. Sorry, forget what I'm doing, guys. I'm going to go back there. Don't press the buttons like I did. I'm really just trying to figure out how to capitalize my letter here. So, well, forget it. I thought it was this button here, but let me see. Let me see if I can try it one more time. Anyways, I want to name this arm, okay? So, yeah, I don't understand. Oh, there you go. It's not a long hold. It's a quick button. My bad. Okay, so once you get that done, okay, that's done. Now we're going to name it. Input is arm, and we're going to name it arm again. And there you go. Now I know how to name these things with capitals. So there we go. So it's a quick push of this button to go to a capital, not a long hold. My bad. Okay, QR, and then we're going to call it arm. Holy moly, this takes forever on this thing. Okay, press that. Now, our source. Click it till it's blinking, and then flip the switch that we were talking about. That's the SA switch. When you're done, press enter. Now we're done with this page. Hit exit. Okay, we're going to go to input 6. Again, we're going to hit it, and we're going to type, this one is going to be called mode. Whoops, I don't want that caps. Okay, and you can only put 3 letters. I forgot. On this first line, you can only put 3. On the second line, you can put more. So let's try that. Okay. Now again, we're going to come down to our source, press the joystick in until it's blinking, and flip the three-way switch here. Okay, and then you can hit exit. Exit. All right, we're going to do one more, and that's going to be switch 7, and we're going to make this bottom two-way switch 7. Okay, that's going to be our fail-safe switch. So let's just go ahead and click it. And again, we're going to put F, capital, let's go A, and you can only use 3 letters, so I'll use FAI. Okay, and then we'll go down, and we'll type it big, F, A, I, and then L. Okay, and I know, guys, this is time consuming, so fast forward if you don't need this. JKL. There we go. All right, so once we're there, let's go down to our source, press the button, and we're going to flip the two-way switch right there, then hit exit, and exit again, and now we're done with our inputs. So now we're going to go to the right and go to our, let me hit exit one more time, okay, to where the icon, to where it's highlighted 4 of 12. Go to the right one more time, and this is mixes. So now go to 5, hit your enter, and the mix name is going to be called A. Oh my God, takes forever. R. M. Okay, and it's already got everything right here. It knows exactly what we're doing, and it's using the source being what we created. So that's all we're going to do. We're going to hit exit. We're going to go to number 6. Okay, and this is going to be called mode. God darn it, keep doing that. Okay, again, it's got that right for us, and then we're going to go to channel 7, and this is going to be called fail. Okay, that's it. Exit out, exit again to where you're highlighted up to 5 of 12, and just keep going to your right, and we'll see where we're at. Everything else looks good for now, so I'm not going to worry about the rest of it. Now you can just hit exit, and there you go. You've got your stuff set up here, okay? And let me see if we can see where this is at. There it goes. So now you can see if you go back to your main screen, right? Let me go back here. This is your main screen, and you go down, right? Now you can see your switches that we assigned, and they all have activity showing, okay? That means everything is dialed in, and you can see everything move. So perfect. So far, we've got everything set up great. So let's zoom out a little bit now. Let me zoom out. There we go. Okay. All right. Now that we've got this set, it's time to get back to looking at our computer. Okay. So let's do that. There we go. And this time we're going to bring the quad in too. So let me show you the quad here, and we're going to get to binding this. And this is where it gets really tricky. All right. So the biggest problem people have had is trying to bind these kind of quads to these kind of radios using ACCST D16 or 16 channel. Okay. And I'm going to show you how to do that because I worked on it a lot today to try to find all the kinks and figure out what the problem was. And like I said, here's the instructions on it. Okay. So we're going to follow these instructions. And you can see them in the computer there. And we're also going to look at Betaflight. So let me close. Let me get Betaflight up. There's Betaflight. All right, now I'm going to plug in this quad. Okay, and you can see the red light blinking. I'm just trying to think if it's better for me to have it like this maybe. All right, so the quad is blinking. Radio is on. Okay. And now we need to go, so we're going to start with, if you look at the instructions I had, we're going to do with firmware 4.2.1, all right? And I'll give you a link to this page in the video that you're watching right now. So, so we're going to go ahead, just for grins, we're going to update the firmware. So to remember to do that, you're going to go to Connect, and you're going to scroll down to CLI, if you don't know what firmware you're running, and you're going to type in your CLI version, okay? And you're going to see where it says the version is Maytech F411 RX. That is what we're looking for right there, okay? So let's click Update Firmware. And we're going to make sure to select Maytech F411 RX, which is right there. And we're going to select the newest one, which is this one as of today. Okay? We're going to load the firmware online. And now we're going to click Flash Firmware. And we're going to give it just a minute. Okay, so now we're at a programming successful, and when we connect, it's going to ask us if we want to apply our defaults. You're going to click Apply Custom Defaults. Okay. All right. Now we're back, and we can see the red lights blinking here. Okay, and we're getting ready to bind. All right, but it's getting a little tricky. All right. Now, normally, look, guys. Normally, you take the props off. Okay, and you know what? I guess you gotta lead by example. I'll take the props off. Fine, but. Actually, I don't feel like doing that right now. I got to get too much done here, so all I'm going to do is I'm just going to do this real quickly. I'm going to switch this over. I'm going to flip this rubber band over here. All right. And I'm going to have this hold my props in place for the time being so that nothing's going anywhere. Okay. I don't want to hear anything about it from anybody. I'm just trying to get this video done so I can help some folks out and get this quad done today. Okay, so there we go. Let me put that on here. And these props aren't going to go anywhere now. Okay, so that's it. All right, that's my solution. That's my quick prop fix. Okay, so enjoy it and don't give me a hard time about it. All right, these aren't going to go anywhere now. All right, so anyways. Now this is done, what we want to do is we are going to go ahead and get ready to bind, okay? So first thing we want to do is let's go ahead and connect, okay? And let's just do a calibrate and all that good stuff. Look at our ports. Everything here looks good. Configuration. We will reset the configuration here in just a little bit, but let's go down and scroll down to where we have our radio. The main thing we want to make sure of is that we have SPI RX support in the receiver mode, and we have FrSky _X in the provider mode. And if you look right here under the instructions, it says verify you have this in the receiver mode and verify this is in the provider mode, okay? From here, you're going to go to the CLI. That's what this instructions say, all right? And it says you need to type bind _RX and then you press enter. So type that. So here's what's going to happen. If you can see that blinking red light on the radio, or on the quad, I mean, right here, okay, you're going to type bind _RX and hit enter. And it's going to say it's sitting in binding mode, right? Now, the next instructions here say, once you do that, put your radio in bind mode. Okay, so to put your radio in bind mode, I'm just going to zoom in here real quickly so you can see, right? Okay, let's get this to where you can read it. Okay, so you're going to take your joystick, oops, and you're going to hold it to the right, and you're going to go down to your model here, go to the right again, and now scroll up until you see your binding. Okay, so just in case you didn't see all that, hold the joystick to the right, and then go to the right again, and there it is. That's your setup screen for your Novice 3. Scroll up and find your bind here, and pay attention to this. Make sure it says ACCST space D16. Make sure it says channel range channel 1 through 16. And make sure you know your RX num, because you're going to need that real quickly. This is model 1, so I use RX or receiver number 1. Go over and click bind. Okay, and you can select 9 through 16 telemetry on. Okay, now you're going to notice, sorry, let me put that right there. You see how the light's not blinking yet, right? Well, that's fine. Let's zoom out and let's go back to our computer. Okay, and it says right here, once you put it in bind mode, type the following: set space FrSky underscore X underscore RX underscore num equals, and then put your number. Now don't forget, ours RRX num, I'm going to copy this. Our RX num was 1. It was the first one. So we're going to paste this, right? There it is, and just hit 1. Okay? And then it says type save. If you look right here, it'll tell you, you should see it, make sure to type save and press enter, and then immediately stop the binding by pressing exit. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to come over here. Whoops, we're going to come over here and we're going to type save. And then we're going to press our exit key to stop the binding, and we're going to go back to our main page. And all of a sudden, guys, look at that.
RF signal critical.
Okay, we have now, we have bound, and I'll show you here in just a second. You're going to see there's the telemetry right there. Now the reason you're going to get this RF signal, and I put this on the website too, so let me show you what I found here. Okay, if you go to the website where I showed you this, where the link is, it says one issue that I am seeing with this is telemetry issue on the radio goes in and out with this method. I noticed that when I moved the radio away, it stopped. So I ended up putting the radio about 6 feet away on my test, and it worked perfectly. Okay, so don't worry if you have an RX signal low or what have you. What we care about right now is let's go to Betaflight. Let's see what Betaflight has, and let's check this out. I need to zoom back out on this radio real quickly. Okay, and so let's do this. There we go. We're going to connect. Okay, and we are going to go down to our receiver, and all of a sudden, look at that. Now, if you scroll down here and you see this quad flying like it looks like my wife driving her car, that means that your channel map is wrong. Don't forget it was TAER. So click this downward arrow here, go to Spectrum Grobner, here we go, and then click Save. Now watch. Hey, we've finally taken over the car and she's not driving crazy. All right, so, but watch the switches now. See how everything has a value, okay? All right, so from here, what we want to do is we want to set our, if you'll notice now, our minimum and maximums are supposed to be 1,000 and 2,000, okay? You can see they're all at like 1990, 1988, or 988, 990, and 2012, 2010, right? So we want to adjust that. So here's what we're going to do. This is where it gets a little bit interesting. So pay attention to this, and I will, let me see if I can do a screen share or a screen split here. All right, so let me zoom in so that it's easier to watch. I'm going to move the quad out for just a second, okay? So we need to get these to read properly. So what we're going to do is we're going to take our joystick and hold it to the right. Then we're going to tap 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Here we go. We want to go to screen, what is that, 6 of 12, okay? And what we want to do is we want to go to our first one here, okay, which, and remember it's TAER, so the first one is throttle, and as you can see, and you'll see it in the Betaflight, you see how that blue is going over there up and down in the top right corner. Okay, that's your control feedback. So what we want to do is we want to adjust this so where it says 1,000 when it's down, 2,000 when it's up, and then somewhere in the middle roughly it says 1,500. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to hit our enter, we're going to go to edit, and we're going to go to our minimum. So first we're in our minimum. You can see the value where it's at right now. We're going to click this, and we're going to go to our right until that raises that minimum to 1,000. Okay, and you'll be seeing your Betaflight screen changing too. So let me show you now what I'm seeing here. You see how the throttle is now at 1,000 right there, right? All right, so you'll see that it'll correspond. So just watch your screen as you're doing it, all right? So that's our minimum. Now we're going to take our stick all the way up. And as you can see here in Betaflight now, our throttle shows that it's at 2012, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to adjust that. So we're going to go to our max, press enter, and we're going to scroll to our left until that 2012 comes down to 2000. Perfect. Hit enter again. Now find your middle page right about here and see if you think you're around 1500. For throttle, I don't worry about this because the stick is automatic. So as far as I'm concerned, you're done. At this point, hit exit. And now you're going to go down to channel 2. All right, let me make sure where I'm at on channel 2, which is going to be right here. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and hit enter, and we're going to edit. And again, we're going to go down to our minimum. And if you hold it all the way down, it says 991. So you're going to click it and go to the right and hold this to the left while you move your value. Okay, and you can hit enter. So now look at that, it stops at 1,000. Now hold it to the right, go down to your maximum, hold it to the right, click it, and go scroll to the left until you get to 2,000. Okay, let go. Now, we are in the center and it says 1500, so there's no need to mess with the subtrim. So get out of that by hitting exit, go down to channel 3, hit enter, edit. Now pull it all the way down and you're going to see you're at 988. So scroll down to minimum, hold this down, and you can just scroll up, I guess, is what I ended up doing by accident, but it works. So there you go, at 1,000. And now go to the maximum, scroll down to max, hold your stick to the maximum, press the button, and go down until you get it to read 2,000. And you guys need to do this, okay? You need to get your stuff dialed in properly. There you go. And again, this is at 1,500, so again, I have nothing to worry about. So now hit exit and go to the last channel, and that's going to be here, and our minimum is going to be 988. So go down to your min, press the button, and scroll to the right. Okay, and then go to your maximum, press the button, and scroll to your left. Look at that. So everything is now perfect, and if you look at the Betaflight screen now, let me show you. Look at all those values, okay? 1,500 in the center, and then look at that. We're going 1,000, we're going 2,000, we're going 1,000, we're going 2,000. It's 999, it's close enough, it'll adjust. And then we're gonna go 1,000 and 2,000. This is what you guys want, okay? So now that we're done, let's get out of this here. Let's zoom out. Okay, there we go. Perfect, okay. All right, so now that we are done, we're gonna hit exit, exit, exit. Perfect, okay. So let's start setting up our modes now. Now we wanna know what's gonna take to arm this thing, right? So we're gonna click our mode. Please make sure your props are off, by the way, okay? Don't keep them on. I don't have a LiPo plugged in, so nothing's gonna start up anyway. So I'm gonna click add range, and I'm gonna flip my switch here. Okay, now remember, this is my arm switch, okay? You probably need to see it this way, I guess. So let me do that. All right, and I'll see if I can make that bigger, maybe. No, I can't. So never mind. All right, here we go. All right, so you'll find when you click add range, you'll flip the switch that you want to use, and this is my arm switch. And I like to set the middle and last position for arm switch. That way, if I accidentally bump it from armed, if I hit it one time, it doesn't just disarm. It still has a chance, okay? In case I accidentally bump it by accident. All right, the next thing we want to do is we want to set, I'm going to click save for that one. Okay, let me go ahead and turn that off. I'm going to go to my configuration page real quickly. I want to see, trying to remember how they would have had their, the defaults on this. I'm going to check here just a little bit. Okay, we're going to turn off these two. We don't need those. And most of you guys would probably not have reloaded all of this. I am going to turn air mode off and anti-gravity off. I'm going to leave those two off for the time being on this one in particular. I'm going to click save and reboot. Okay.
Telemetry lost. Telemetry recovered.
There we go. Now we're going to connect, and I'm going to go to my modes again. And I'm going to now go to my horizon mode, which is one of my flight modes. So I'm going to click add range. I'm going to flip the top right button, three-way switch. And I'm going to put the third position to be horizon. And I'm going to add angle to that. Okay. There we go. I'm going to select the second position to be, where is it? Air mode. So I'm going to add range. I'm going to flip that switch again. That's going to be second position. First position will be acro without air, and I don't care what anybody says. I still fly like that, and I leave that there for the customer. This is acro with air, and then this is going to be horizon with angle mode, okay? And then the last thing we want to do is set up our fail-safe. So we're going to add a range, and that's going to be that two-position switch, okay? And when it's armed, we're going to have fail-safe, and when it's armed, we're going to actually have the beeper going off too, okay? So we click save. And now you can see failsafe would kick in and our beeper's going off. Okay, and if you scroll up here, you're going to see that we have horizon mode with angle. And then if we're in the middle, we're going to have air mode with acro. And then if we're just up front, we have nothing but acro mode. All right, that's it for the switches for now. And now what I want to do is I want to see, I have to check the configuration here. Most of you would not have wiped your flight controller. So this next part's really going to be kind of a waste for y'all. But for me, I'm curious to see how they would have normally set this up. So I'm going to save this and I'm going to go through the setup and I'm going to see what they would have normally selected here. Oh, let's see, what are we going to do? We are running brushless motors. Yep. So we are going to go with, let's do with one shot 125 and I'm going to do a calibration based on that. And I'm going to leave this at 4 and 4. Oh, wait. Oh, that's right. I can't right now in one shot. So let me just click save. Okay, now for this part, I am going to go ahead and remove the props. So give me a second. Oh, you know what? And I did back up, actually. Hold on a second. I forgot. I did back this up. So let me see. I think it's right. Where? All right, guys. So actually, before I got into that, I did find the file that I had backed up. So I'm going to go ahead and open Betaflight here. And we're going to get back into this quad. And I will tell you that the defaults, so the defaults, once you load this, one thing I want you to notice is that the default that came from Eachine is they actually have this in FrSky D mode, which is 8 channel, which would be that you need an X-Lite or XJT, I mean light module for your radio if you keep it like that. So please make sure you change this to FrSky X. We're going to click save and reboot, or else you won't be able to bind, okay?
Telemetry recovered.
And look at that. So we are back to being bound now. So we're all good to go.
Trim center.
Okay. Now what we're going to do is we're just going to connect again, and we're going to set our modes back up.
Signal low.
Okay, be quiet a second. So I want to do, that's my arm, angle, horizon. No, I want this here. I want to add my horizon range here. Okay.
RF signal low.
And that RF signal low is what I was talking about with you guys. You don't have to worry about that really. You just have to move your radio kind of away and it will solve itself out. So I'm just going to kind of put mine at an arm's length right now. And I'm going to delete this and add a range here. And let me flip that. Okay, there we go. Let's do our failsafe the same. Sorry, when I loaded the backup, it lost my setup. So let me click save. Let me go to my configuration page and get air mode off here. Anti-gravity. Oh, air mode is off. Okay. Anti-gravity, I guess we'll leave that on. All right. Let's go back to modes. So we have angle and horizon there. We have, there we go, there we go, there we go. Where is my, oh, there's air mode. Okay, air mode's wrong. So air mode, let's delete that. Let's add the range here. And there it is. So we've got acro is going to be just like before. Arm, perfect. Angle and horizon, perfect. Failsafe with beeper, perfect. And then air mode, yep. So everything's good. So we're going to click save. And I'll save this backup file if anybody wants it. All right. So at this excellent. So there it is, guys. Okay, so that was a very long video, about, oh my God, an hour and I don't know, whatever. And I'm going to edit some of it, I guess. I may edit some of it. I don't really like to usually do that, but this is good to go. I'm really excited about this. So I'm going to disconnect, and we're going to call it a day. I think that we've accomplished a lot on this. I think it's a great way to get the customer going. Yeah, be quiet. Okay, and this radio set up, so this radio is going to be going out to him too, so that's really cool. So all he has to do is turn it on, he'll be ready to fly. And that's it. Whew, that was a long one. All right, guys, look, if you have any questions, please, as always, go to our Facebook group at facebook.com/groups/Cyclone FPV. And then, as always, if you could, please support us on Facebook and follow us on our YouTube channel. Sometimes I'm long-winded, but hey, we try to get the job done, okay? And I try to be as thorough as I can. Other than that, if you have any questions, hit me up. It is now Sunday, right around 4 o'clock. Give a shout-out to my kids, Ashton, Lennon, and Jaden. Jaden broke his leg in 2 places this week, riding an electric skateboard, sitting down on top of it. Went head-on with a mailbox and lost that fight. So to my boy there, I love you, bud. I hope your leg feels better. Can't wait to get the cast on you on Thursday. Ashton and Landon, you guys take care of your little brother, and also continue to be awesome big brothers. I love you and I miss you, and I'll see you guys on Friday next week, okay? Until then, guys, God bless, peace, be safe, and spend time with your family. You never know how much time you have left, so please make the most of it. Talk to you later. Bye.